Already second time trying to record this because it just closed on me. So first actual YouTube video, I'm recording this from my phone. So no, I'd like to be able to put in pictures and stuff, but that's not going to be happening. So still on the walk, wanted to get my thoughts and do a review on Warhammer 40,000 10th edition. This is the edition I started with. I had the models as a kid, but I never played with it, and then I never had anybody to play with, so this is the first time I'm actually sitting down and I built armies and stuff. Ultramarines, yeah. So, already lost everybody watching this video. Second army was orcs. Third army was corn demons, yeah. So, having fun with those. So, I wanted, I know it's not the end of the edition, right, but historically, we're getting pretty close, right? There'll probably be a campaign book, and then that's it. Coming up on the reveal show, which should be really the last reveals. We only have Drukari and Votan and a few other codices left to come out in this edition, so it's pretty much wrapping up. So I think now is a pretty good time to take a look back on it. So I'm going to be doing the good, the bad, and the meh. The stuff that isn't super bad, but also doesn't stand out fantastic. So, So, kick things off, I think we'll do the bad first, because that's what everybody wants to see, because, ooh, negativity. But also because sometimes I feel you can learn more from, negative than positive. So, let's start off with weapon balance, right? And that's kind of a smaller issue, but it's kind of also important, because, it's kind of the weaponry of the infantry, which, but also at the same time, I think it's important because, man, it's all over the place in this edition. Example, Space Marine Sergeant, not the most, fantastic, but, it's a dual, right? But choices of basic basis, bolt gun, hand flamer, plasma pistol. Right now, you take the bolt gun or bolt rifle. Ooh, plus 1 AP. We'll get into that too. Secondly, you can take a chainsword power weapon, power fist, and thunderhammer, and then you never choose any of those. You always take the power fist, and that's kind of the problem. Because in this edition, man, is there no reason to just not take the power fist? And that's that's not just a Space Marine problem. That's an everybody problem, and that problem existed in previous editions too, not to the same extent, to say the least. It's more of a this edition problem, because before they kind of tried to balance it with points. It's oh, if you take the multi-melter, you're spending 25 points instead of 5 points for the heavy bolter, but I don't see anybody ever taking the heavy bolter ever. So even in previous editions, there was this problem of you either have nothing on dudes or everything on dudes. And I think free war gear, and it would probably be more in the mad, but weapon balance is definitely in the bad. Because free war gear, essentially, instead of just going you either have nothing or everything, just gives everybody everything. And I'd rather see everybody with everything, because then it's not just all my Space Marines with bolt pistols, it's all my Space Marines with all the cool shit that they get to have in the box. And you don't get that if points come back, or you do like me, and then I lose to a bunch of guardsmen with las pistols, but there's 300 on them, and I have 5 Space Marines with 300 points of war damage, which I don't know, doesn't feel super great, but is what it is. Secondly, the other thing is combi guns and those condensed profiles. I think a cursed weapon's got the best, where it's whatever your chainsword or power weapon or power axe or whatever is just one profile, and it's a half decent profile. And they try to do the same thing with the combi guns, and man, combi guns suck. Combi guns turbo suck. And combi guns have always been weird throughout the editions. Sometimes it's they're one use, right? So you can fire the bolt gun as much as you want, but the multi-melt on it, right, is you get one shot through the game, but you kind of really only need that, And then some, it's you can fire both of them, but then you're -1 to your ballistic skill. And it's yeah, okay, right? And this edition's you have slightly better anti-infantry potential. But you kind of don't, because you're -1 to your ballistic skill, and you only get one shot unless you're within rapid fire range. And, man, that sucks. Like, that's really bad. And it's like, well, you got dev wounds on 4s, but, like, if you're firing into, like, a gaunt or something, right? And, you like, want to pace the gaunt, and you, like, roll at 3, and then they don't even just turbo die. And it's like, well, that was, like, a huge waste of a weapon option. Whereas, like, the Stern Guard bolt gun is, like, or the bolt rifle is just way better. You get, like, 3 shots maximum, 2 shots for your rapid fire range, and you still get the dev wounds, you know, and it has AP, so if you do roll the 3, you're still hitting them with -1 AP. And then their whole shtick is they just nuke the oath a moment target with dev wounds, and it's like, you get more dev wounds with the... So, like, there's a lot of problems like that, and I'm sure everybody can go into, like, everything. Like, you never take the heavy bolter, not that you ever did, but you don't take the heavy bolter anymore, and, like, I feel like you can balance it right, and they just didn't in this edition, and that sucks, you know? Because I give all my dudes power swords, and power swords suck, you know? I'm sorry, like, the basic Sergeant power sword, not the Mastercrafted one, which is, like, still kind of sucks, but, like, at least it's damage 2. Like, your basic Stern Guard power sword's, like, damage 1. Bro, that sucks. That actually, like, totally turbo sucks. So, right, that's kind of where the bad is. The 2 other things I want to touch up real quick is flavor. That's a real easy one to fix, but, like, there's no, like, let's say you select all screens, you get, like, a, I don't know, +1 to your leadership, and you select Imperial Fist, you get, like, a +1 if you stand still to hit or something stupid, you know, like, little things like that, which would make the chapters, like, feel more worth it. Same thing with, like, your dumb little splinter feats and all that fun stuff. You know, and, so we're missing that. It'd be nice to have, like, the unique units, like Ultramarines Honor Guard, or, like, you know, having the special Salamanders, like, I think they have, like, a special Terminator Guard or something. The point being is, I don't see that happening because Games Workshop really wants you to, like, buy the kits and not just buy a kit and paint it different and then call it a new unit, you know? Which sucks, but that's how it's going, so you can't fight it, so, right. But, like, yeah, like, the flavor kind of isn't there. Like, unless you're taking the special characters for your Space Marines, then, right? And same thing with, like, orcs. But, like, I think orcs are less so the problem, because you can, like, just take all your dudes, where Space Marines, you really limit you if you take a dude, which is kind of a problem. Chaos Demons, honestly, surprisingly got away with this, like, the best, where we got, like, all the detachments for all your dudes, and you got the special Bellicor detachment, but I don't think they're going to be around next edition, which sucks, because I love my Chaos Demons. Alrighty, so let's go into the, one more thing in the bad. I really want to get to the good, because I'm a positive guy, but so let me talk about the bad. And this one's kind of more of the meh, but, like, it's still pretty bad. Buddy's letting me cross, so I'm going to cross real quick and not die while I'm recording this. Alrighty, so, force organization doesn't exist. We have Rule of 3. And on one hand, Rule of 3 is really cool, because, I know a guy locally I play with in the club. He comes like all the time. He's super cool. He runs Monster Mash Tyranids. I don't want to throw any names, but, like, I don't think he'd care too much, but I'm not going to, because he's a really nice guy. And, like, he's a super nice guy. He provides, like, all the terrain for the club. Like, he's awesome, right? And, he runs Monster Mash. And I don't think he could run that level of Tyranids Monster Mash, like, without Rule of 3, right? But also, holy hell, does this just make it, like, dude, like, nobody takes troops, or battle line, whatever you want to call them. Like, there's no, like, unless you're doing, like, a spam list, like, bro, why would you ever bring 2 units of intercessors, or, well, okay, boys, you bring, like, a ton of boys, but, like, that's because they're, like, the best battle line unit in the game outside of Custodies, and they don't count, so boys are, like, the best. Man, boys are so good. We can talk about why boys are incredible in another video, but outside of boys and, like, niche, like, oh, I'm bringing all the dudes, like, I brought, like, 320 guardsmen, right? You don't bring troops, which sucks. And they're doing everything in their power to make troops good, and people still aren't taking them because oh, I could spam 3 whirlwinds and like 3 ballistas dreadnoughts, and it's like, man, that list is lame, right? And like I like whirlwinds and I like ballistas dreadnoughts, but like that's a lame list. It's like Guilliman, 3 Vindicators, 3 ballistas dreadnoughts, unit of incursors, and like I don't know, like 2 more Goober units, and it's like, God, that list sucks, right? You need to watch where I'm going, but I'm trying to make sure I look absolutely fantastic on this camera, which I do, so I just really should be focusing. Anyways, that list sucks. That list is super lame. I'm sorry, but it is. And like, then we want to get like the cool Monster Mash list, right? If we did bring Force Horde back, but like 3 Vindicator spam is lame. 3 Ballista spam is lame. And I get like technically you can do it in like previous editions too. But like the thing is you couldn't then do like take a ton of other nonsense as well. Because man, is like just a dude with a las gun or a dude with a bolt gun just never worth it when you just spam like 9 tanks. It's like, oh yeah, somebody brought like 700 infantry. Oh cool, I brought like also 3 Gladiator Reapers. Whereas like before for Space Marines, you're limited to your 3 heavy options. So that would also unfortunately kind of include your Devastator Marines, but like you can spam like 4 las cannons, so like evened out. So you know, and then whereas now you can just bring like 9 tanks, and it's like super impressive to play against and not fun, and you make your army just look kind of like shit. But like some people like just bringing all the tanks. Like I know I'm like Iron Man fans are like, no, don't take away the rule of 3. Well, I do if I can't bring all my Land Raiders, like all 9 of my Land Raiders, which is like that's kind of the problem, right? It's like also at the same time it is fun to have that, so I'm not like super against it, but like man, it sucks. They need to figure out a balance. Either like limit it to rule of 2 and like force them to bring some infantry. Jesus. Anyways, so like that's the end of the bad. Let's go into the good, and then we'll finish with the meh, like the really meh. So the good, core gameplay wise, I think the game's actually like in a really good spot. Like Battle Shock sucks, right? Like Battle Shock is like awful. Back into the bad, Battle Shock sucks. Bring out something better. That doesn't involve my models running off the board. They're Space Marines. They shouldn't be doing that. God, that's stupid. Anyways, that mechanic always sucked. Oh, and then Psychic, but I don't care about Psychic. Like, Psychic's really easy to fix. Just do Age of Sigmar, what the Age of Sigmar is doing. Yay! Alrighty, into the good things. Core gameplay. It's really tight. Like, just from, like, weapon rules and, like, how the wounding works, and the, just playing it is really easy. There's no, like, long, like, you gotta pick out, like, which buildings are which buildings, and you don't have to, like, you know, I'm in a light cover, so I get, like, a 6-up cover save. No, it's just, like, that gives you cover, that gives obscuring. If you're in the ruin, you get the cover. Let's just play the game, and then you just sit down and you play the game, right? And, yeah, there's no cool flavor, and some of the unit options kind of suck, but, like, man, the gameplay's solid, right? You just set your models up, you play the missions. The secondary mission system and the primary mission system is really good. The White Dwarf missions they give you are actually like kind of fun. Narrative play is going to be in the meh, right? But like, I think that's less of a Game Workshop problem, more of like a community problem of like nobody wants to play narrative for some reason. I don't know. Anyways, like just sitting down and just like being like Dawn of War deployment, 5 objectives, and just play the game. Super fun, right? It's like once you get into it, it's super easy to learn all the rules, right? And so I feel like this is a fantastic foundation that they can then add all the character and then add all like we get to pick our weapons and stuff and have them like actually not suck. And I don't think you need points with that, so that'll also be in the meh. So like core gameplay, awesome. Detachments. I think detachments they're going to stay in the good, but they're also kind of more of a meh. But we're going to keep them in the good, because, like, the idea of having, like, a first company detachment that gives you, like, a ton of cool stuff for all your first company stuff. Like, Dreadnoughts get this, and, you know, Terminators and that, and, like, but, like, the actual detachment they gave us, like, blows. It's, like, super terrible. Like, it mega sucks. Like, holy hell does it mega suck. Like, it's so bad, but... I'm trying to be really positive here. It's like, oh man, I can't believe the game's that's incredibly fun to play sucks. But Like the idea of, oh man, I'm gonna have my Gladius detachment. Like Gladius detachment's awesome. You got your Vanguard detachment. Vanguard detachment was awesome, right? And I like how they aren't just tied to like Raven Guard. Like, oh, only Raven Guard gets the -1 to hit. No, it's like it's 10th company. That's fun. Same thing with Orcs. Orcs have a ton. I don't think Orcs have a single bad detachment. Like, yeah, Cult of Speed kind of sucks, but like, man, they're all so good. All the Orc detachments are awesome, especially the one where you get to push the button. I can't remember what the detachment name is, but yeah, like the push the button rule is awesome. Like that's super cool. Right now they kind of lean a bit hard on you to like drive up like specific models, which kind of sucks. But like, man, I think the attachments are really good state. So attachments in the core gameplay, I think, like definitely need to carry over. Secondly, or technically thirdly, man, something else good to say about the game. I like most of the balancing for special characters. They feel like you actually want to take them, which kind of might be a bad thing depending on like how you want to play. Because like, man, does it like kind of just suck sometime when some guy shows up with like 20 named characters. Yeah, who would ever do that? Oh, here's my thumb pointing at me. Oh, here's my thumb pointing at me. Okay, yeah, I got it on the screen. Okay, cool. Sorry, the sun's on my face. Anyways, man, is that awesome. So all my dumb Ultramarines characters are fantastic to play with, so I'm really happy about that. So, yeah, I feel like that and, like, overall unit balance is in a solid state now. At the start, man, Space Marines and Orcs and everybody were kind of in all over the place, but I feel like they finally got it, like, half decent. Where it's like, all the units seem pretty usable. Not like all the warrior options, but like all the units, right? So that's another thing I gotta give to. They eventually uncock most of the units, or at least for my armies. I try to pay attention to everybody's armies, but like, you know, there's just no fix in AdMech, so like, I guess we gotta put AdMech into the bad. Yeah, they don't suck as bad as they did, but they're still not good. And that's from somebody who knows somebody who plays AdMech. It's just like, dude, my army sucks. And it's like, yeah, girl, your army sucks. Your army's awful. So yeah, like foundation-wise and like mostly weapon balance-wise, I think they're in like a really good spot. And to the meh, because there's a lot of meh that's like teetering on being great, and then like for one reason or another, it kind of falls apart. So like the increase to toughness, like having more toughness and having like tanks actually take shots to kill is awesome because it makes tanks useful. The problem with that is, man, you can spam a lot of tanks and then all of a sudden you're really hard to deal with. Tanks become really hard to deal with, and I think that's a huge problem. But the idea of like I spent like 250 points or like up to 285 points on a tank, and like I actually do stuff. Like some of my most fun was using the Land Raider Redeemer, and the Land Raider Redeemer is awesome, right? And then I picture in my head like 3 Land Raider Redeemers, and it's like, okay, now that list is toxic, right? Because like, am I gonna win like the Ultramar Open or whatever? No. Am I going to ruin somebody's day at my local club? Absolutely, that list is horrible. And that's fine, right? To have stuff like that, but, you know, so that's why it's in the meh. Very close to being good. I think on its own, it's a fantastic change. I think with the, we're going back to construction, so I'm going to talk a little bit louder. So on it, like in the whole, with both the detachments and all that, like really, or force organization to hold it together, oh boy, that's not a great change. But like overall, it's a fantastic change, right? So it's in the meh. It's very close to teetering on good. In the meh, free war gear. Free war gear is, once again, I would rather have it. Oh god, so sorry about the construction. I would rather have it be, oh boy, my captain gets to take his stupid little power fist and plasma pistol, then my captain doesn't get to take anything. Because that sucks, right? Like at no point in time should I, or my sergeant, right? Or yeah, even the captain, you know? Because, you know, it's like I got this cool tactical squad. I want to give them all the dumb stuff. No, Joey, you don't need to give them the dumb stuff. They're there to sit on a point and then die. They only get bolt guns. But I want the heavy bolter, because heavy bolters are really cool. No, Joey, you can't have the heavy bolter. It costs like 15 points, and then, oh, your list isn't optimized to be stupid. So now they just get the heavy bolter. Which opens up the problem of, oh, every Space Marine list now has a multi-melta. And, like, yeah, that's not fantastic. Also, nobody's using tactical Marines. It's just an example. But, like, I get to have this stupid grenade launcher on my intercessors, and my sergeant gets a power fist, but I always give him power swords because power swords are cool. Or, like, Stern Guard always take the heavy bolter now. You know? So, on one hand, not fantastic. On the other hand, all my guys get their cool, stupid stuff. So, you know, what this has led to is the splitting up on data sheets. And for the most part, I don't think that's bad. So that'll also go into the meh of, like, as an example, if they did new Devastators, they would probably, or should probably do, this is your long-range/short-range tank killing, and this is your long-range/short-range infantry killing unit. So you'd have Annihilator Devastators and, like, Predator Devastators, right? So your Annihilator Devastators would have, like, las guns, multi-meltas, and your Predator Devastators would have, like, heavy bolters and the heavy flamers, right? And then they'd each get a special rule, right? What that does is, like, man, is there a lot of data sheets, right? Holy hell, is there just a lot of data sheets for Space Marines. On the other hand, you can actually give them, like, abilities and stuff that, like, makes you want to, like, actually use those two units and not just go, I'm never taking the heavy bolter. Because, like, you never took the heavy bolter unless you knew, like, you were going up against your one friend who only spams infantry. That's, like, super niche, so that doesn't really count. Whereas, like, spamming oops all las cannons has been good every edition ever. Like, it's still good in this edition, right? Because it's like you're spamming, like, 4 las cannons. Sorry, goddamn. The wind is blowing my hair in my face super bad. Probably should have put some hair gel in it before I went out. Anyways, it's kind of not fantastic, but yeah, they're still good. Like, it's 4 las cannons. You're never not going to take 4 las cannons. Like, the problem is like, even the rocket launchers in previous editions, looking at the points value, was only like 5 points less than a las cannon. At that point, yeah, just spend the 5 points on las cannons. Or, well, technically it was like 5 points per dude, but, like, still, that's only like 25 points less. So, yeah, it still kind of sucks, but, like, now everybody just gets to spam las cannons for free. So I don't see, like, free war gear being, like, the end of it. Now, it would be some options, and this is going into the second thing, is, like, characters. On one hand, people hate the Hero Hammer stuff. On the other hand, damn, I love the Hero Hammer stuff. The, like, I got my captain, and I'm going to give him, like, up to 100 points of war gear is really cool, and I really like that. On the other hand, giving your captain, like, 100 points of war gear is probably, like, one of the dumbest/worst things you could ever do. Because, like, why would you ever give your captain, like, 100 points of war gear? What are you, stupid? I'm like, my captain has melt the bombs and special hand pistol or whatever. And he has a storm bolter and a power sword and a refractor field. You know, like, it's a lot of fun. But also, can that kind of get, like, stupid? Where it's like, my 1,000 Sun Sorcerer has one of 20 different things, and it makes him, like, stupid overpowered, and so they took that away. And I like to see some of that come back, right? And then it's like, oh, well, technically, that's not, like, free war gear, Joey, and it's like, well, yeah, you got me there, right? So I'm not, that's why it's in the meh, right? Because I feel like, as far as, like, your, like, power sword, power fist is concerned, yeah, you can balance them and just make them free. Same thing with, like, the heavy bolter and, like, the heavy flamer. Like, you should be able to realistically balance those two options. So, Christ, even, like, the las cannon could probably be balanced against the heavy bolter if you gave the heavy bolter enough shots and just went, look, like, delete infantry. Like, it's a valid option, right? Whereas, like, enhancements in this edition are kind of all over the place. Because, like, once again, they're detachment focused because there's no universal ones anymore, which sucks. And then, man, does it just, like, just suck that, like, I can't put a ton of stupid enhancements on my sergeant. They got rid of that more and more as editions went on, but, like, there were still, like, ways where you could, like, put, like, 2 enhancements and give him, like, a warlord trait and be like, hey, look, he's my special dude. He has a AP minus 3 damage 2 pistol, and I took the warlord trait that makes his pistol, like, damage 2, and I gave him a second warlord trait or something stupid. Or, like, you give him, like, the cloak, and he, like, would regain wounds or something after every turn. Something stupid, but, like, that's a thing you could do, and that's fun. And some of those were really overpowered. You know, and yeah. But also speaking on characters, which is also kind of the meh, leaning more towards the good, is I like attaching characters to units. Like, as an example, having my lieutenant attached to a unit and give a ton of buffs to my unit is awesome. Conversely, having my lieutenant unit die, and my lieutenant's just by himself, and now he doesn't really do anything, sucks. So, anything that says, while leading a unit, delete, and just have this unit gives, right? Or this unit has lethal hits. The fact that the lieutenant loses lethal hits when his unit dies is stupid. But yeah, it's mostly stuff like that, you know? My characters are in, like, a pretty solid place, but, like, I wish I could give my, like, lieutenant artificer armor and my captain artificer armor and give them all, like, stupid unique power swords or something dumb, and not have that be like, oh, you're only allowed 3 enhancements and there's, like, only 4 enhancements. And it's like, this sucks. And then you go play Vanguard and you don't get artificer armor anymore, and it's like, this sucks. Just give my lieutenant like 2 up save. What the fuck? Like, what? It's never come up ever. It's just, oh cool, he has a 2 up save. Now it's AP minus, I'm saving on 4s instead of 5s, and then he dies anyways. And it's like, oh, I took 4 damage exactly. Time to roll my 5 up top there all once, and then he dies. You know? And just let me have my dumb hero here. So that's also in the meh. But man, I rambled on so far on that. I forgot what my next meh was going to be. Probably, like, weapon balance, you know? Man, they screwed up weapon balance in this one. I mean, they screwed up weapon balance in all of them, so you can't really just be like, oh, only this edition has really bad weapon balance. Damn it, it's on the tip of my tongue. I was thinking about it. Characters, leading units, points cost-wise, let's talk about the points cost on stuff. It's not as cheap as things used to be. Right, like, the infantry used to be, like, dirt cheap in previous editions. It's because, like, you could used to, like, be able to take conscripts and stuff, which is cool, which also sucks that you can't do anymore, but, like, I get it, because you'd have, like, your infantry units throughout your whole army, and, like, let's say they're all Cadians, because, like, everybody likes the Cadians, right? And then you'd be like, well, these Cadians are conscripts, and these Cadians are veterans, and this is all the different plus or negatives to their ballistic skills and leaderships and all that, and it's just like, oh god, I hope you remember all that, because I'm not, right? So, yeah, it sucks that we don't have them anymore, but, like, I get it, so that's in the meh. Weapon loadout option-wise, like, is also meh, because on one hand, yeah, it's stupid that, like, options don't come in the box, and if you start adding every option into the box, you're gonna end up with, like, an extra sprue. But yeah, it was kind of cool. You could give the captain a Stormbolter, right? And yeah, same thing on, like, the little, like, my auto bolt rifle doesn't have rules anymore. Yeah, honestly, that's kind of more in the good, to be frank, because each one of my stupid little guns has a different thing, and it all has to be what you see is what you get. And I'm like, man, that sucks. Nobody wants that. But, like, it was nice, but now it's not, so who cares? Yeah. Also, transports are all over the place for Space Marines, but that mainly is because, like, firstborn. Oh, also, in the good, and, like, also kind of in the meh, it's going to be, like, model refreshes, because, like, I'm talking a lot about the game, but I'm not talking about a lot of the models that got released this year. Leviathan, Fire, everything after Leviathan for, like, generic Space Marines, also super good. Blood Angels kind of got, like, I don't hate the new jump pack guys, they're fine. But, Yeah, Sanguinary Guard aren't as cool as what they used to be. Like they're fine, but like they should have had ranks, you know. But like outside of that, like Tyranids were nothing but slam dunks, right? Like they're just straight up balling over there. Not so good on some of the other ones, but like I think like Guard, like model wise, was like, yo, Kriegers, all the Kriegers look good, like all of them. Space Wolves looked absolutely fantastic. I'm trying to think of like, oh, Eldar. Eldar finally got new models. Yay, Eldar! Also, Eldar were absolutely like busted at the start of the edition. Like how they handled mortal wounds at the start of the edition was stupid. But that's not a problem anymore. So this is like in review of like the last version of the game. And as the last version of the game, because like there's probably going to be like some changes in like the whatever dumb little expansion they have towards the end where it's like I'm trying to think of a play on Gathering Storm. I don't know, the Ultramarines kick ass once again. There's your final edition campaign. Wow, who could have seen that one coming? The Ultramarines show up and kill all the bad guys? Whoa! And don't hit me with the whole, there are no bad guys in Warhammer 40,000. Like, I don't know, man. I think my Khorne demons are pretty evil. Because, like, if they aren't, like, the evil bad guys, then I'm going to be, like, really disappointed. Oh, you know what? The Ultramarines are just as bad. No, they aren't burning down the orphanages because Khorne wants to see the blood flow, you know? Oh, no, I said the quiet part out loud. And, like, yeah, I want to roll to burn down the orphanages because, like, that's what I want to do as Khorne Marines. Because that's fun. Ooh, no, he's saying he wants to hurt people. Grow up. But yeah, we'll probably get like some changes in like the last, you know, Gathering Storm equivalent or Arch of Omen or whatever, and that's fine, I guess. But yeah, the lack of like being able to have like what you get is what you get, and like the box is just like I want to be able to give my captain the Stormbolter. You can't anymore. Can he have a combi gun? None that you would actually give him a combi gun in this edition, but, you know, it'd be nice. No, he doesn't have a combi gun on his sprue. Also, the fact that Games Workshop just comes, like, this close to giving us, like, a captain with, like, all the cool stuff, and they just don't. They're like, oh, yeah, we left out the bolt rifle, even though on the weapon page it says it comes with the bolt rifle. Like, it's done, like, stuff like that, where it's like, okay, if you want to do everything, like, if it comes in the box, you get it. Then put it in the box, you know? Oh, man. But yeah, that's everything I can both think of. There was something else that I was kind of in the meh, but they must be so mad that I'm not thinking about it. So, 33 minutes. Yeah, this is about long enough. Overall, closing thoughts. One of my buddies waving at me. Jesus Christ, it's gonna mess up the video. Really nice guy. I work with him. Anyways, closing thoughts. Overall, I think the core of the edition has been really good. The core of the edition is really good. Flavor and internal balance-wise, there's some hiccups. But that's pretty easy to fix. Detachments and the other stuff has some issues. Oh, there's going to be stratagems I was going to talk about. I'm mixed on stratagems. On one hand, stratagems are cool. On the other hand, you know, I kind of like it, I kind of don't like it. So, there's that. You know. Okay, just real quick into stratagems, because I know this video's already gone on forever, and I'm not going to edit because I don't have the editing software. So, on one hand, stratagems are like fun little things. Like, I spent my command point and now I get to fire Overwatch, right? On the other hand, there's still a lot of stratagems, not as bad as 9th, but there's still a lot of them. On the other hand, like, yeah, it's kind of fun. Same thing with, like, the special rules, which is going to be the other thing. It's like, on one hand, it's nice that everything has a special rule, because it makes you think a little bit more about taking that unit. On the other hand, the unit can try to just be like the unit for itself. Like Devastators have all the heavy weapons. I want to take Devastators. Okay, yeah, you know, that's super simple. Now Devastators have all the things in the game. go hit the rerolls against monsters and vehicles. And it's like, well, why does it need that? Well, because there's like 17 other Space Marine units that do that exact thing. And it's like, you know, so with the amount of Space Marine units, and I like having all the Space Marine units because I like having all the cool toys, but that's kind of the problem with it. But like, yeah, that's kind of my opinion on stratagems. Like, there's too many. We probably don't need core stratagems. We could probably just have it be like, if you didn't fire in your main phase, you can fire Overwatch, right? That might be a little too good, but right now, you know, there's like a lot of stratagems. Maybe reduce the core stratagems down to like the 4 or 5 that are actually like super essential, and then limit the detachment stratagems to like 3 or something. Have like 3 universal Space Marine ones and then 3 per detachment, you know? And I think you probably solve that issue a lot, because right now it's a bit absurd. So yeah, closing thoughts, core gameplay great, super easy to set up matches, not super too many terrible... I was going to talk about narrative. I'll talk about narrative in a different video. So yeah, core gameplay-wise, awesome. Flavor-wise, kind of fell on the ball on that one, and I think that's like kind of the core problem of this edition, is they really focused on balanced competitive play, which is fine, but it's very obvious that it's missing that. Alright, so this has been Mantic Button Gaming, Joey, and I'll probably talk and ramble some more. Alright, see you guys.